Hello guys, my name is Evans and welcome to this video tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to continue looking at the February-March 2017 IGCSE ICT Paper 2-1. In the last video, we ended on step number 29, and in this video, we'll start with step number 30. In your database, produce a report that one shows the fields when the tree was mowed, the name of the location, board ID, the type of the tree, the thickness, width, length, ready, sold, and price in this order. Okay, so like I've always been saying, guys, it's relatively easy to create a report when you're given this scenario by breaking this information that you've been given into two sections. So one section will deal with a query, and the other section is going to deal with the actual report. Okay, so you can identify which of the information that you've been given here can be used to create a query, or can be used in the creation of a query, and then the rest of the information you're going to use it to create the report. Okay, so the first information that we have, as well as the runtime field, and extracting certain data based on a criteria, all these can be done using a query, and then the rest of the information we're going to do it using a report. Okay, so let's go ahead and start to create a query based on the first 3 points that we've been given. Okay, so create let's start with the query wizard and select the items that you have. Now, just for the sake of not wasting time, I'm just going to print this so that I don't flip or switch in between screens as I work. So allow me to just print just this, maybe just this, yeah, just this one. Okay, um, okay, so I'll get that and just print that. So I'm going to have a hard copy of the same, and then we'll see if we can go ahead and create the query. But you guys, you can work with the paper. I hope you have hard copy of the question paper, and you can follow along as I practice or as I do this. Okay, right. So let's continue. So now the question said that we're supposed to show the fields when the tree was milled. So we start with the year in which the tree was milled. So year milled, and then you go to the name of the location. So go to location table and get location, and then board ID. So go here and get board ID, and the type of the tree. Okay, so go back to trees table and get tree type, and then thickness, go to boards and get thickness, then width, then length, then ready, sold, and lastly price. Okay, then go next and next. I'm gonna call this query step number 30, maybe step 30. Just hold on. Okay, so step 30 query. Okay, and I'll modify the design and finish that. So we have the query ready, and now I'm going to go back to the questions. So we are done with this part, and the fields are in this order according to what we selected. So point 2 says contains a new field calculated at runtime called volume. This is calculated using thickness multiplied by width multiplied by length, and the contents of this field must be displayed to 3 decimal places. Okay, so I'm going to go let's see, I'm going to go here. um, okay, so here I'm going to create a field called volume, and it is going to be calculated by the thickness, okay, multiplied by. Now take note how I'm actually using the square brackets around the field names. Okay, so multiplied by width and multiplied by length. Okay, so okay, we didn't close one part. Let me just get there. Okay, so that's length, and we need to put square bracket around length. Okay, so that should be fine. Run it, and you will see that volume is a new field which is calculated at runtime, but the values are there, and we have not yet formatted these values. So what we're going to do is to go back to the query design and format these according to the question. So the question says that the contents of this field must be displayed to 3 decimal places. So come back here and select this, go to property, and then select decimal places. In fact, let me just mm, select this entire field and go to properties. For some reason, okay, so it's here, it was failing to display the values that I was looking at. Okay, so decimal places is this one 3, but remember to change the format to standard here, or fixed. Okay, so change it to standard. Otherwise, if you don't change to standard, suppose it is just like this, and you try to run this query despite setting the decimal places to 3, and when you run it, you will not see 3 decimal places here. Okay, so it's very important that you set this to the format, either set it as fixed or set it as standard. Then this time run it, and you'll see that it will give you 3 decimal places as requested by the question. Okay, so I'm going to go back to design view. Suppose there's anything that is remaining. Okay, so now we're done with step 2. We go to point 3. We're done with point 2. So point 3 says shows only the records where ready is no and sold is yes. Okay, so um, ready is supposed to be no, and then click the sold column, and sold is supposed to be yes. Run it one more time, and you'll be able to see that ready now is no and sold is yes. Okay, perfect. Save it, and then we can proceed. Okay, so go back to design view. um, Let me just save everything. um, So the next thing that we're supposed to do now is to make sure that all the data and the labels are fully visible, and page orientation of landscape, and so on and so forth. And these can be done now using the report. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a report. So I'm going to close the query, and I'm going to go to create, and then a report with from report wizard. I'm going to use the query that I selected, not how all the fields appear here. Select them, and then go to next. And um, how do you want to view your data, and so on and so forth. Okay, so just go next. Of course, it doesn't matter what's happening here. Um, we can so we can add the grouping as year milled, so that they are sorted in the order of the years, but this is not even important. The reason I say so is because we can still play around with the order of the fields. It doesn't really matter here. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. Even here, sorting ascending order or what, this one doesn't matter. I'll show you the last option that you can use when you want to sort your fields. So let's come back here. This one, the layout, it's an unstepped, um, and stepped doesn't really look that good. I'll show you in just a moment. Let's come here. But yeah, change to landscape, and the one that says orientation is supposed to be landscape and fits on a single page wide. Okay, so these are the two settings here. Adjust the field width so that all fields fit on a page. That is the one that corresponds to the one that says fits on a single page wide, and then the one that says landscape is the orientation. So go next, and then modify the report design. Right here, if you want, you can even change the title of the report. Okay, report is supposed to have some title, and so the title is supposed to be sold timber in store. I'm just going to copy this and paste it there. Okay, so then finish. Okay, now guys, I want you to take note of something. Okay, two things that I want you to take note of. take note of how in the details section here, you do not have year, location, and tree. They are actually appearing in the year mute header. Okay, so what this means is that it groups this information in particular, the year followed by the location followed by the tree type. Okay, and this is where yeah, so you can easily just select these and drag them down to the detail section, because if they remain here, let me just run this and then show you what happens. If they remain here, go to let's say layout view, you see that it is year 2012 here. There's nothing until you get to 2013. There is nothing also until you get to 2014, and the same thing is with the other parts there. Now when you're importing word when you're importing your query, there is a section actually that causes this to be done. I could have showed you this, but for the sake of time, let me not show you, but I can show you a way you can get around. Suppose you found yourself in this situation. Okay, I deliberately came to this section because I've seen a number of students get into this and then get stuck. What am I doing here? What am I supposed to do? How do I get the other years to be displayed and all? Okay, but it all happens when you're trying to import your query into your report. Okay, so there is a way that you can get around this, and let's start going through that way. So let's go to design view, not of the query but design view of the report. And what you just need to do is to select all these three and drag them into the section for detail. Okay, so drag them into the section for details and then run your view your report in layout view, and you'll see that the years now are going to be visible. But again, take note of how in between the years 2013 and 2014, you will see there is some space. Take note also of the years between 2014 and 15, there is some space. And this is the general trend that you will see, that in between the years you have space. And this space is actually coming from the space that you've created here. Okay, so what you can do is to bridge this, just close this, and there will be no space there. Then right click and view layout again, and this time around you shouldn't see any sort of space between the years. Okay, now the other thing that you'll notice also is that at the end of the report, you do not have the calculated field at runtime, which is volume. The last field that you see you have is price. Okay, and for some reason not word access skips some of the fields when you try to import this, but I'll show you that this field is actually existing on this document, but it's not just visible. Okay, but we can still just drag and drop it on our sheet and it will still be there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to first of all work on the layout so that these fields are fully visible. So just select the fields that are in question. Now my access is a bit freezing up, so just drag this a little bit this side so that this one is somewhat visible. Okay, drag it again this side and make this one visible. Okay, so nothing here is visible, and also you want to push this side and get this one and this one and drag them to your right. Okay, so they're there, and then you need to enlarge the year field, year mute field. Okay, so that it is visible as well. Okay, and that's 2012. So the other fields, you just need to resize them. Okay, just resize them, and then let's drag these fields this side. So resize these as well, and drag them to your right. Okay, now ready, just resize it as well a bit and drag this side. Okay, right, so sold, the same thing, drag it, and lastly price. drag it as well. So price, just need to make sure that you reduce the size of the field. Okay, so you have all these fields. Now take note, the order of the fields, we were told that these fields actually are supposed to be, first of all, year milled, and then the name or the location, then the board ID. But if you come back here, you'll see that the order here, this one, okay, these two, and board ID, they do not have. So I've just clicked and dragged this one this side, just switch them. Okay, so get this one this side, and now get the type, and the type is supposed to be this one, and drag it this side. Okay, so I've just switched them manually. It's still fine, and it will work perfectly. Okay, so just drag it a little bit this side so that it's fully visible. Now guys, this is something that you guys will have to learn to play around with access, especially if you found yourself in the situation that I found myself in as I was trying to import um, the file. And like I said, I did that on purpose, so that you guys can learn the other way around. You can check out my other videos and you'll see the proper way of importing it, but not to say that in an exam, because sometimes if you don't realize that you made a mistake when doing the importations, and you found yourself in here, you can do several times. If you can't figure out what was wrong, you waste a lot of time and you would have failed. So but I'm trying to show you that even if you found yourself here, there is a way that you can work around and have this information actually put in order. Okay, so that is very important, guys. Now, like I said, you notice that there is no volume column here. So go back to design view. Okay, and when you're in design view, if you not even design view, you can still use layout view. Layout view is even better because you are going to see the space here and drop your information there nicely. So go to design and then go to add existing fields. Okay, so it will show you that these are the fields that are available in this view, and you will see that volume is part of the field that is available, but it is not part of the report. Okay, so you just need to get volume, drag it and drop it on the report, and it will be part and parcel now of the report. But it will be this end, okay, because fields are actually added from the beginning of the report. So what you need to do, it is already selected, just drag it and drag it to the end of the report. Okay, so just somewhere, maybe here, and then drag it further, somewhere there. Okay, so let me just scroll up and bring it back there, resize it a little bit until just volume is somewhat visible. Okay, still visible, and drag it somewhere here. Okay, so note how all the fields are actually visible. Okay, they are actually visible. Let me just close this now. Cancel. Okay, so the field names are visible. That's what the question told us here. Okay, so it told us make sure that data and its labels are fully visible. So make sure that the data is fully visible. It is not cut anywhere. Okay, usually you will see hashtags if the field name is short. Okay, but in this case our information is perfect. Okay, forget about the square boxes that appear in here at the end. It's still not a problem. Okay, now the other thing that you guys are supposed to do is to sort. If you come back here, so we are done with this one. We are done with the page orientation. We are done with fitting on a single page wide. Now we need to sort the data into year milled, then location, and then board ID. And all these three fields are supposed to be sorted in ascending order. So what I'm going to do is to show you guys how you can sort this. So go and if you select, or you don't even need to select the table anyway. Just go on let's see, design, and then go to group and sort, and then the first one is actually grouping, so we don't need to group in any or in anything. Currently it's on group on year mute, but we don't want to group on year mute. Okay, so just delete it, hit delete on a keyboard, and you have it plain like that. Okay, down here. So then click add a sort, and then the first one is year mute, and then the second level. Now take note, when I add another sort, which is the next one, which is location, take note of the hierarchy that is being created there. So the first one to be sorted will be year mute, then under that it will be location, then add another sort which is board ID, and take note again of the hierarchy that is being created. So this is sort by year mute first, then sort by location, and then sort by thing. So the other thing, again, sometimes you can be asked to group, so you're going to say add a group, and then that is going to be added as a group. Okay, so this one, go ahead and preview it in layout view or print preview, it doesn't matter. So yeah, now the other thing that, guys, we are supposed to do, um, oh, I said we preview it. Okay, so let's print preview it. Okay, so then you see that the years have been sorted in 2012, then 2013, then 2014, followed by the location. Okay, so the location also will be sorted. Okay, and then followed by the board ID. Okay, so that one as well will be sorted just as it is. Okay, so this one shouldn't be an issue. So close print preview. Now the other thing that you guys are supposed to do, let me close this one as well. The other thing that you guys are supposed to do actually, is to come back here, is to create, or rather calculate the total value of the selected boards by multiplying the price field by the volume. Okay, multiply the price field by the volume. Okay, so come back here and go to design view and delete these two, you don't need them, under your page footer. Okay, under your report footer, just enlarge it a little bit, and then you're going to insert, you're going to insert, go to, let me see, where am I? Okay, let's come back here to design, and then insert a text box. Okay, so this one is going to be the location. We can deduce the location. So the location of this one is going to be, okay, this one displays this value below the price column. Okay, so come back here, and the price column is supposed to be here. So the price, the value is supposed to be multiply the price field by the volume. So it's supposed to be price field by the volume. Now I want you to pay close attention here. Okay, so let me just go to the beginning here and set price field by the volume. Now this is not enough, okay, because this one just calculates the price multiplied by the volume for one record. Okay, now we need to find the sum of all the records. Okay, this value, the product of this, then we need to find the total sum of the product of this. Okay, so this is why it says calculate the total value. So the total value, so there is an aspect of sum that is going to come in there. So you need to put sum at the beginning, then brackets there, and close brackets at the end there, and this is what is going to give you that. Okay, so the parentheses, okay, so I used that one instead of a square bracket, so it's supposed to be square bracket. Okay, and that is that. So go ahead and preview this one and come back at the bottom, and you see that you have a value right at the bottom there. Now note also that this value is currency and must be formatted therefore as currency to 2 decimal places. So go back to design view, get this one, right click and go to properties, and go to format, not format, let's just go to all decimal places, set it as 2, and then format, set it as currency. Okay, so I know this is not fully visible, just drag it this side and you see that it is now visible. Okay, So I'll close this property sheet and then run it one more time, and let's see if the value is going to appear at the bottom as currency. So you see the value is appearing as currency, but the other thing that you need to do is to drag this side, this side, so that it is visible. So I'm going to go to design view, and resize this so that it's directly under that. So just even there you can do that, okay, in layout view. So that is proper. Now the next thing that we're supposed to do is to set actually the text. Okay, so the text, so displays this value below that, displays this value as currency, the same currency as your price field. Okay, so we're done with that. We just from doing that. Has a label to the left, this value of this stock. Okay, so value of this stock, copy it and come back here and just there and paste it, and that should be fine as well. Okay, so next thing that we're supposed to do is to insert some label, if I'm not mistaken. So it includes a report title, sold timber in store, at the top of the report. We did this at the beginning of the report, so it shouldn't be a bad thing, or I mean not a bad thing, but it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so then it should have your name, center number, and candidate number to appear on each page of the report. Okay, so come back here, then you're going to go to design view, and then in the page footer this time, because it's supposed to appear on each report. So in the page footer, you are supposed to insert, go to design, and you're supposed to insert a label. And this one is going to be Chikasa Evans ZM 556 001. Okay, so you're supposed to insert that, and now you can go ahead and run this. So check it out in layout view, and you see the name is there. Okay, so the next thing that you are going to do is to go back to the question paper, go through all these and make sure that you've done them. So we're done with step 1, we're done with 2, we're done with 3, we did with this one, we're done with orientation, we're done with 15 page, we're done with sorting, we're done with total value, we're done with displaying below column, we've changed the currency and number of decimal places and all. We are done with the label, we include the title, and we have done the last one. The last thing that you just need to do is to save and print your report, and make sure that you have entered your name, center number, and candidate number on your report. And we just did, it was the last thing that we did. Okay, so just go ahead and print this report, and you see that your work, you would have done them. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pause this video, not pause it, but stop it, and then I'm going to do the next section of this paper. Alright, so I'll see you in the next video shortly.